Hello guys, it's Shako from the Squawk Squad. I'm here to give you a general deck analysis about Regis for Drizzling Sparks format. It gets a lot better with the Precious Trolley, and the Pikachu EX is also really good in Regis because you get to recycle that and it does 300 damage. So I want to give you guys my thought process on how the deck should be built and what it should be built for generally. So I'm just going to the most recent and most highest placing list. I believe that this is pretty good and fleshed out, but there are a lot of cards I would change for it to be optimized. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to open this in Blend or in Builder. So first things first, this is incorrect. You already want to be playing one of each of these. You're not attacking with Regis anymore because there's a lot less boss in the deck, and Regis should just not be in the deck. Regirock is still a good attacker though, because there are still a lot of fighting weak Pokemon, and there's no guarantee that you're not gonna play against a lightning deck, or if you're gonna play against Terapagos. And Blood Moon or Saluna is also extremely popular, so I don't see why you wouldn't just have a Regirock against that. So Regirock is just a pretty obvious add into the deck. Next up, we do need a Fighting Energy to attack with Regirock, because Luminous Energies aren't going to fill both of its attack cost, because it only works if there's no other special energy attached. Luminous Energy is a special energy, so we can't have multiple Luminous Energy and expect them to work. Okay. Next up, a good attacker, Iron Hands. You just shouldn't be playing Regis without Iron Hands. If they bench Manaphy, it's not the end of the world, but Iron Hands EX just lets you have an easy prize trade, so I don't see why you wouldn't play it. You can just attach onto it and then attack with it by using the Ancient Wisdom to attach 3. So it does need 4, but you can just attach from hand. And then you also need switch cards. Because to get that turn 1 attack, you're going to need to switch out of that. Regi, no matter which Regi it is, they all have 3 retreat cost. You do not want to be dealing with the 3 retreat cost in your active spot. It's just really annoying because you're going to have to attach, and then you're going to have to retreat, and then you're going to attach. So it's going to take 2 turns if you only have 1 Regigigas in play. Next up, we need a Boss's Orders. Gust is just always important. I don't see why you wouldn't play it. And then finally, we need Palpad. So you don't have to play this. I think it's pretty important though, because you have just 1 Kieran and 1 boss. I think it's important to be recycling them in some matchups, like Kieran against Charizard, Dragapult, maybe even Control if you're not using Regieleki for some reason. And then for boss, just every single matchup. So where are we going to find the space for all of these cards? Well, it's honestly not that hard for the cutting process. Just real quick before we start, you need at more than 1 Super Rod. If you discard your Super Rod and you don't have any more, Stadium Bump is really bad. So just to go over that. Also, just a quick notice, the way this deck works is that the reason there's Irida, obviously you're getting the Precious Trolley, but essentially the idea is you get the Area 0 down, you Irida for Wellspring Mask Overpawn and Precious Trolley, you put down the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon from your hand, and then you pressure Trolley for all of your Pokemon because your bench is now up to 8 because of that Area 0, and you can't just Precious Carrier along with the Terra Pokemon expecting it to work, because you need to have the effect of Area 0 before you use Precious Trolley to bench all of those Pokemon. Okay, so now we're going to get to the cutting process. Iron Bundle, it is a good card in Regis, but most of the time your bench is going to be crammed, so you just can't put down the Iron Bundle, unless you're just playing single prize Regis, like just the normal Regis with just all of these guys and nothing else. But that's just a really bad way to play the deck because there's so many other good single prizes. So we're just going to take our Iron Bundle, Serendipity EX. This is not going to affect your games as much. You're going to think that perhaps like hand description is really bad. Not really, because you have Regidrago here to save you from that. It works as an attacker as well. Serendipity just doesn't work that well because your bench again is going to be extremely crammed. This is just draw support. You're not using this guy's attack at all, even though it's 3 energies, and you have 2 better, more effective bench snipers. So we're just gonna take up Serendipity EX. This might be a mistake, but it probably isn't because I've tested Serendipity EX and Regis before. It just wasn't necessary at all. It just didn't work. Next up, we are going to take out the Earthen Vessel. You don't need this many Earthen Vessel. It's just like not that hard. Also 1 Luminous and then 1 Lightning Energy. Now one more thing I recommend to add is that we're gonna add 2 Ultra Ball, because you can't just discard all of those energies with your like Squawkabilly alone. Maybe you can, and I could just be wrong, but at least having 2 Ultra Ball in there lets you either keep a Pokemon in hand, thin something out without using your NS Ball, but it also just lets you discard the energies if you don't want to use Radiant Greninja. It seems like a fair choice, and you can just discard them with Squawkabilly, but sometimes you can't always have those energies in hand. So overall, I think this is the optimal list. You have everything you need and more. All these energies, even though they're one-ofs, like not all of them are going to be important because you have Luminous Energy. If you do prize 2 of like these, it can be a little unfortunate. I feel like the most cuttable cards could be like the Ultra Ball, right? And maybe you could cut like one of these guys. You could cut like Drago, you can cut like Regieleki. It doesn't really hurt that much to cut like either of these guys because you're not using them a lot in the matchups. But yeah, this is definitely really close to the optimal version of the Irida Regi deck. If something better comes out, I will also make a video on that because it seems really important to keep up to date with these Regi builds, and they get to seem more competitive as we go into the format.